Before we were using ProLine SuperAdmin, it was organized chaos. We were trying to fill voids and figuring out who was going to do what. Like, because if you don't have technology that's bridging that gap, somebody's got to do it. We would have to essentially educate our franchisees that they have access and control to manipulate that stuff, and they have to exercise a level of discipline to not touch that stuff. We can't afford for somebody to put something on a document or a proposal out in the marketplace, because with the way of the internet being what it is, if somebody puts something out there that we don't agree with that may be offensive or whatever it may be, our brand, our reputation is being judged. Before, we were having to go in and log into our franchisees, our strategic partners' CRM account using their credentials, which that is incredibly inefficient for one. You have people changing passwords from time to time because they might forget them or whatever. It was just such a nuisance and very ineffective. I just joined an organization and they need my login credentials to get into my CRM system. That, to me, it's unprofessional, and I don't think it's a good look. Previously, the CRM provider that we were with, what we had to do is we had to go into every single account and we had to duplicate and rebuild everything. Every template, every automation, everything had to be rebuilt. We gave them the opportunity 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. When we interviewed with other CRM companies at the time, and this is about a year, even just a year ago, year and a half ago, nobody had those capabilities. Nobody had it. And the team at ProLine built it in 2 weeks. If somebody would have just committed to building it in 6 months, we probably would have signed on the spot. Once we adopted SuperAdmin from ProLine, our days got substantially better, and we were able to focus on things that really truly needed our attention versus damage control. I'd say it was about a 60-day process of us getting everything organized, and then from there, figuring out what permissions we wanted people to have access to. And it's given us a lot of control and power back over the concept, which is necessary when you're building a national franchise. So how I would describe ProLine SuperAdmin to a PE roll-up group or a franchise concept is, we always joke, we call it God mode. It gives us the ability to control everything. It gives us visibility over the portfolio. The single sign-on feature within SuperAdmin, I would say arguably the single biggest reason that we moved to ProLine. At first, if you want to jump into an account, you can jump into an account. It allows us to move very quickly, and then you couple that with the global search feature that just got launched, and we're able to jump right into an account without ever even having to open up an account. A franchisee in Florida calls us about a customer, and they want us to take a look at the photos because they don't know how to properly diagnose whatever issue's going on. We can just type in the name or the address of the customer, and it'll do a search across all of our portfolio companies. We can just click on it, and it drops us right into that project in that franchisee's account. That way we don't have to navigate at all. We have, I don't even know how many different permission settings, like 100 plus. So it's very, very customizable. Or what it isn't is like a one size fits all. Or like, hey, this, like quoting, for instance, if you're not giving your franchisees or your PE group access to the quoting system, you're just not giving them access to the whole thing. And that's not what it is. So we can allow them access to things that we don't want to get in the middle of, but then prohibit access on things that either if they want to change them, they have to come through some type of corporate approval process first, or we just don't want them touching it at all because it's a system standard and it compromises the brand. We have the ability to take everybody in our portfolio and assign access to individuals at a super admin level, assign access to certain portfolios where they can manage those directly, but only see those reports, only have access to that specific portfolio user. So that's critical when you're dealing with like franchise coaches, or maybe you have coaches if you're a PE firm and they're responsible for a portfolio. We have the ability to look at the performance of each franchisee as well. So we can see how each portfolio account is performing. So we can look and we can see, okay, you're using this feature, this feature, this feature, but you're doing a very poor job of answering your phone, which we can see those metrics. You're not doing a very good job of ordering through the ProLine system. So we can see some red flags, and we can work with the ProLine team or our team internally to have conversations to help to, maybe it's an education piece that is lacking, which is leading to poor portfolio performance. We are actually extracting some of our royalty rates directly from ACH and credit card payments, which is huge. It's huge for us. It's huge for our strategic partners because they have a real-time glimpse of what their operating account looks like. It's very similar to payroll taxes. So if you're a W-2 employee and you get a paycheck, every single week that you get a paycheck, hopefully your employer has withholding taxes and payroll taxes that are going to the feds. Instead of you having to worry about it at the end of every single month or whenever you owe that debt or that obligation, if we can just pull it out at the point of sale, you have a better idea of what your working capital looks like. So that way we don't have to chase people down for money, and it makes it easier for the franchisee, in my opinion, because they don't have a huge liability at the end of every single month. If we signed on a new strategic partner today, within about 12 seconds, they could get our full CRM deployment template into their account, and then they have access to everything that we've worked the last 7 or 8 years on. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours saved within 365 days between deploying the setups, the single sign-on, and the global search feature. Hundreds of hours in a year. When we turned the system on, we actually reduced our staff in about 60 days by 2 full people. Those resources can now be reallocated towards revenue generating activities. It just allowed us to run more efficiently. It actually ended up saving us, I would say, roughly about $100,000 a year within the first 60 days of turning it on. One of our biggest fears when we were determining which CRM we wanted to invest our money in is, are these people going to be able to move in advance at the rate of which that we would essentially expect them to move? And a lot of the tech providers, especially in the roofing and exterior space, they're dinosaurs. Very confident with the investment that we made with ProLine, and we trust their leadership team to add the appropriate amount of technology and properly circumvent it before they deploy it into their platform. As this thing continues to advance, it's going to be a superpower that if you're not on it, you're going to be left behind.